you mentioned paternity fraud by men, that it didn't happen, and I have to disagree with you. I know lots of cases where that happened.
I'm saying that it can't happen without cooperation. You're never, listen, a woman knows.
No, I can tell you. I'm telling you, no,
okay.
I disagree.
Okay, convince me how a woman doesn't know what child came out of her body. I'm waiting.
Well, no. When you say paternity fraud, I mean that's a broad, but I know of men who when I say fraud, for example, this is the case I'm talking about. He said that he didn't know the girl was pregnant or whatever, so the baby was like 2 years old. And
wait, let's stop. Let's just stop for a second. What does paternity mean? Paternity means, it comes from the word paternal, which means father. All right. So you don't know who the father is. All right. Now, a woman can get a DNA test anytime. That's what I'm talking about. The woman participates in it because the woman has the control of the child. If anyone,
let me finish. Okay, he was going to pay the attorney general's office or whoever conducts those child support things. He got hold to a worker and he was going to pay them to change the test or lie. And he almost got them to do it, except the guy chickened out in the end. So isn't that fraud? And he's the father. That is paternity fraud.
So you're saying that the guy was going to get, let's say, a blood test, and he was going to pay off the scientist who was doing the blood test to change the lab results?
The attorney general's office, whoever's the workers, whoever was conducting the blood work, the test, whoever, he was going to just pay some worker there to change, and he almost got it completed. He had the money to do it, except the guy chickened out in the end. That's what he said. So isn't that paternity fraud? I mean, if men could get out of it like that, they could. Just y'all blaming the women. I know a lot of y'all men wants the DNA. Yeah, you're the daddy. Yeah, women do a lot of stuff. Can you blame them? They just looking for the best for their child, like you said. But men just don't have a choice. But if they could find a way out to be the daddy, they would. And that's one case. So I just wanted to disagree with you. And that's one case. And on the flip side, what about all the fathers who really know they are not the biological father and they are with these women and they know they just lied to the kid forever, and then the kid is like 30 years old and they're like, that's not my daddy? Isn't that paternity fraud?
No, that's just lying to the kids. Like, if the man knows, it's not paternity fraud, right? Well, here's the thing. Paternity fraud is when a woman says that a man is the father when she knows or should know, has reason to know that he's not the father or that he could not be the father, right? And the man believes it. Now, you can argue that if a woman says you are the father and the man knows conclusively that he's not the father, but he chooses to stay in the woman's life anyway, you can say that's not paternity fraud. For example, if a man isn't, let's say I'm infertile and my girlfriend winds up pregnant and she says, oh, this is yours. And I'm like, oh, okay, but I know it's not mine because I'm infertile. It's not really paternity fraud. She's kind of committing paternity fraud, but it's not working because I know it's not mine. So you're saying, what if the man knows and just raises the child up? That happens a lot.
Yeah, he's lying to the child. Yes, it's not a legal fraud and he can't go to jail. And some people would say that's noble, but look at the child. Maybe the child wanted to know who his biological father was. Maybe he could still love the stepfather, but that's a whole lie that was told to that child forever. Some people take that to the grave.
Yeah, so, but usually in those cases, it's for the child's benefit.
Right.
Guys, listen, children are not adults. And, you can't give children adult rights, to be honest. I mean, children need decisions made for them. And, if your 2-year-old is going to want to know who his father is, but his father's pookie and got dope in the house,
how come it's okay when the man lies, but not when the woman lies is not okay? It's still a lie. It's just that you have more of an issue. It's all fraud to me. You just have an issue with that kind of fraud.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Jan. What are you talking about
Okay,
if the man lies
what
and
I'm
the
saying
woman lies?
yeah, I mean, to me, it's like anytime you're lying about the whoever the father is, it's a lie. Whether it's on a DNA test or lying, I'm just saying that, you know, it's lying. Is it not lying? It's fraudulent. What's the definition of fraud?
You keep saying it. Is it lying? I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I was just giving a definition of to me what paternity fraud. I just gave you an example when you say you disagree that it's in the interest of the child. Fine, but the example still stands about the guy who wanted to pay the workers to lie about that. That's a paternity fraud. I'm just saying that men do. I know of cases like that where they lie about, you know, the paternity of the child. They just, you know, it's just hard.
Who is they? Is it the men or the women? Jan, this is so confusing.
The men. If a guy is saying, huh?
You're using all of these pronouns. We're talking about men, women, and children. You're talking about they.
Men. If a man, you said that men do not commit paternity fraud.
People are not keeping up with what you're saying. They're like, what are we talking about?
I'm not reading the chat. I'm talking to you. Men do. You said that men. This is something you said earlier. I'm just going by something you said earlier. You said that paternity fraud is not committed by men. Did you not say that?
Correct, because it's paternity fraud. This is not maternity fraud. Paternity fraud is committed against men. It comes from the word paternity, paternal. It means men.
So, well then he's committing maternity fraud then.
God damn it, Jan. I mean,
it's fraud. I mean, do you not understand that that's fraud? If he's lying about, you're saying, okay.
Yes, Jan. Listen, if he pays the scientist $1,000 to change the result, that's fraud.
Okay, that's all I wanted you to say. It's fraud. But you have an issue with the wording. Like, is it paternity, maternity? I don't know, but it's all fraud. If a woman is lying about who the daddy is, it's paternity fraud. So if the man is lying about who the daddy is that not paternity fraud too?
Yes, Jan. If a man pays the scientist $1,000 to change the result, that's fraud.
Thank you. Hello, I'm not the crazy one. That's all my whole point was. I'm sorry it took that long to get to. I don't read the chat. If they can't, that's why I'm talking to you. You the attorney. I'm not talking to the lay people. You the attorney. I expect you to understand this. So, thank you. But
Jan, you are crazy. You are all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But, you know, as far as this DNA stuff, I mean, what about, you're assuming that a lot of men want to know. I know a lot of men who really don't want to know.
That's not true. You do not know a lot of men who do not want to know.
I do. Okay, just like I just gave you paternity fraud.
No, you don't know. You might know. You might know. You might want. You might know one man. You might know. Who left? Did somebody leave? You might know one man who tells you he doesn't want to know. Or you might know one man who really knows, but he's telling you he doesn't want to know. But you don't know a lot of men who don't want to know, Jan. That's just not true.
Well, I know several examples. I mean I know more that in my case that didn't want to know than do want to know.
All right, Jan. Let's go down this road, Jan. How many men do you know that have children and they do not want to know if the children is theirs or not? Since you know a lot, you said you know a lot. All right, you want to come up here and no. You gonna come up here and talk to an attorney, right? Fine. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this formally. Then you say you know a lot of men who have kids and they do not want to know if they're the father or not.
Let me give you an example.
No. I don't want an example. I'm asking you a specific question. You say you know a lot of men who have kids and they don't want to know if they're the father or not. How many men do you know? You say you know a lot. How many men have kids and they don't want to know if they're the fathers or not? How many?
Well, at least one now.
Well, all right, people in the chat. Who in the chat considers a lot to be one?
I'm just saying currently, I'm you want me to go in my mind.
Dan, no. You said,
because I wanted to give you examples.
Dan, no. You said men. Men is plural. Men means
Okay,
two or more.
two. Okay, I just thought of two. Like I said, I could sit here and think of a lot if I just sit here and think, but I was about to give you the examples, the real examples, but two. Now I just thought of two. I know of two.
Well, two is not a lot, is it, Jan?
No, but you, okay. But how many people do I know that the question if the kid is theirs? I don't know a whole lot of people like that. But when the question comes up that is it my baby? The men, a lot of times, I'm not gonna say, I mean, several times that I know of, they don't want to know. So regardless of whether it is a lot or several or a few or a couple, get off the wording. What about those men? What about the men who are okay with not knowing? And I do know men like that.
Okay, Jan. You know a lot of men who you know a lot of men who don't want to know if their kids are theirs or not. If you say if you say it, Jan, we'll believe it. You know all these men who have kids and they don't want to know, and they don't want to know if their kids are theirs. They're supporting these kids. They're going to work 9 to 5.
I can tell you, I'm trying to get these people to the DNA test and they don't want to get it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to encourage them to get the DNA test. Oh, I just thought of a third one. I thought of a third one. Yeah, so yeah, I know a lot of men, and you know what? If they were legally married, it doesn't matter if they get a DNA test. And that's another question I wanted to ask you. When you're talking about telling a woman, I'm going to get a DNA test on the kids we have, are you talking about a wife or a girlfriend, a baby mama or a wife?
Jan, I think everybody in the chat loves you, but they want me to move on. But I appreciate you.
I mean, but you're okay. Well, you can't answer the questions. I mean, I'm asking the question, but you're not. I mean,
I'm just listen. We got 300 people in the chat, so I need we're a democracy. I need to but I got people in the back too. But I appreciate you coming up, Jan.
All right. Well, I had the child. We don't get along with the child support questions and move along. Let it go to someone else. But I'll send you email. I would like to know the questions. Maybe I can explain it a little better.
No problem. And Jay, you know, you will always be a sister to the channel. You were one of the very few women who would come up consistently at the very beginning. So you can always come up. Thank you so much, Jan.
Okay. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!